Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.
Fantastic Friday, guys. Morning, Amira. Morning, Fatin. Morning, Shaban. Hey, Mizan. Hey, so good to see y'all. It's Friday again. So 1 week has just passed. Let me ask you this question. What have you done for the past 1 week? Have you actually journeyed according to your plans? See, sometimes in life we always plan, but the thing is we never execute the plan. And yesterday we talked about building the dreams. Today we're going to talk about planning, and we're going to talk about well-formed outcome. And what's the key difference between well-formed outcome and any other goal setting? Yesterday I briefly mentioned to you guys that we said, hey, we do how many goal setting people actually set the goals on 1st of January, and by mid-month of January they forget all their plans. Is it that they don't intend to achieve their goals, or what happened? You see, when I was trained many years ago, oh, brilliant, you launched a big project this week. I'm so happy for you. Yeah, the thing is about following it through. So what we're going to do today is about talking about well-formed outcome. And well-formed outcome is it's a goal setting, but it's not a conventional goal setting. What do I mean by that? You see, yesterday, if you were to really sit back and to dream the dream that you want, you will realize that sometimes our dreams are way too big. You see, life You see, I'm actually, if I can show you, life is an experience. Okay, I'm wearing this T-shirt. Life is an experience, and I remember this thing that my boss or my coach used to tell me, Adrian, you always have an experience over an experience. So it's like, he said, why do you have the same experience over and over again? Life is an experience, which is true, but the thing is, you want to experience it based on what you want to experience. What I mean is that if you have a dream, and all dreams are way too big, but the thing is, if you break it down into small bite-sized modules, you will be able to achieve it. See, most of the biggest problem in our life, number one, when you talk about wealth outcome, is that people do not know. People do not know when they have already achieved the outcomes. Now, let me rephrase that in a different way. I remember when I was 24, my boss that time asked me this question, Adrian, what is your biggest goal in life? I said, I want to be financially free. Right? So, which everyone here wants to actually achieve, right? That means she asked me the next question, Adrian, what do you mean by financially free? I said, well, when I don't have to worry about money, I can go to a restaurant and just order whatever it is. I said, okay, good. So what does it mean? Can you quantify what does it mean by financially free then? I said, what do you mean? I just told you, right? I just said that I go in the restaurant, buy something or order something without even, look on the left-hand side of the menu, not to look at the right-hand side. How many of us, when we go in the restaurant, we actually look at the price first, then only we look at what we want to eat, right? But I want to look at what I want to eat first, forgetting the price. So that's what I meant to her. But she said, if you do not know how much will it take for you to be financially free, your brains here can never register when you achieve the goal. Am I right to say that? Then like, oh yeah, maybe that's really what I've been lacking. Because you see, have you heard of the saying, people saying that you're in the rat race? Rat race means that you go like a rat to put inside the cage, then they go around, the white mice run. So you are running every single day, chasing after it, you burn out. So what we are trying to do here is the welfare outcome. First, have your dream, and then set out your 10 years dream, what we call by a B hack, big, hairy, audacious goal. Break it down to every single year and break it down to every single month. Create milestones where you can actually see, hear, or feel that you know they have already achieved your outcome. And therefore, we know it's like driving, right? When I use the metaphor, when you drive to Penang, for example, at night, how do you know that you're driving to Penang from KL to Penang? Is that when you're driving on the highway, what can you see? You can only have your headlights up, and your headlights only show you 200 meters in front of you maximum. As we go along the way on the highway, what tells us that we are on track, it says Pulau Pinang, how many kilometers away? Ipoh, how many kilometers away? So we know we are heading towards the right direction. So these are markers and benchmarkers. So what we need to do is to be able to break down our particular journey and our goals into that small bite size that we actually know that we're on track, and therefore we do not burn out. So that's what is the first thing that we have to do. First, know what are your goals. Second thing about well-formed outcome here that we want to talk about is really, is it ecological? See, most of the time people create goals which are not ecological. What do I mean by that? Is that, for example, I said, well, I want to make $10 million in 1 month, example. So when I coach someone and said, all right, you want to make $10 million in 1 month, how are you going to do that? And he said, well, if I were to go out and see 10 customers a day and I close 5 of it, I should get $10 million in 1 month. I said, okay, but is it possible for you to see 10 customers a day? Well, it can be done actually. But the thing here is this. Would it affect your relationship with your family? See, human beings, or we Malaysians especially, we are very driven by our family relationships and family orientation. Is it ecological for us to go on life without seeing our family and we just continue working? Because ultimately, you will have a guilt that's been built inside your body, and because of that guilt, you will not be able to perform. You do whatever other do without knowing why. All right. Always put a stop when I'm in progress. How big one? Well, sometimes is well. Of course, people sometimes say if you have the whys, will be able to drive you further. But today we're going to talk about not about the pain and pleasure issue. We're talking about being able to build a goal, Hamida. So that I will cover again, because how do you drive by the goals? I mean, creating enough pain, and creating enough pleasure to be able to drive you forward. But today is how do you set the goals? Sometimes my personal advice is not to know too much why. Whys help you drive you, but the whys sometimes cripple us as well. Let's face it. Because why? Whenever we think too much why, then we create justification. We can create justification for us to move forward, or can create a justification why we don't succeed. That is what I really meant. Right. So now, so the thing is, our bite-sized goals needs to be achievable. It needs to be ecological. You see, the conventional SMART goals is really great too, but it doesn't talk about ecology. And ecology is the main thing, because if it's not workable for your body, let's say if you have to work 18 hours a day, it's not ecological for your body, and therefore you will cripple. So we need to rechange your goals. So it needs to help you in terms of your health and family relationships as well. Now, the other thing that I find that NLP teaches me very well is the concept of modeling. I'm going to cover modeling on Monday, so it's Modeling Monday on Monday. How do you learn from successful people? Right, that is the key thing. Is it when I first came out to become a trainer or a speaker, I wasn't the greatest. But what was beneficial for me at that point in time was that I have a lot of trainer friends. So I always ask for permission to be able to visit, to watch them training. And as I sat there watching them, I picked out every single thing I like about each trainer. And I ignore the things I don't like. You follow what I'm saying? So every single business person who are successful has something for us to follow. Like, for example, I have some people in my head which I cannot mention the names. I truly respect them, where they can actually grow from such a small company to a super huge conglomerate within a shortest point in time. But what I don't like about them is that because they are so into their business, they forget their family. So to me, is that's not ecological for me. So I will only learn their business strategies. And I think on Tuesday, I will do strategies. How do you talk to a person and elicit their strategy? And then you'll be able to know how they make decisions, and therefore you can apply for your own life. So NLP actually helps you model other people, successful people, and therefore you can actually apply it to your own work. And let's not reinvent the wheel, because that's why people read books. When we read books, we actually learn from all these other people who are already successful in their nature. It's about borrowing their concept and coming and applying it based on our own work. So for welfare outcome, it's very simple. You can apply it back a bit like the SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, okay, realistic, and it needs to be time bound. But well-formed outcome has something extra. Is always asking you this question: is your goal ecological? Second thing is, has anyone else done the same thing before? If somebody else has done the same thing before, don't worry about trying to plan too much. Like yesterday when we talked about the dreamer, the realist, the critic, be the realist. We go and borrow people's plan and then apply to our business, and then we criticize it as to how does it really apply to our work, and let's not reinvent the wheel. All right, so that's when we be able to grow fastest. But as a closing for Friday, and we've been seeing each other for the past 2 weeks, remember always, your identity is always the most important thing, my friends. Primary questions in your life, which determines your focus, and being able to do that, know your goals, know your dreams, always put it in front of vision board, and know that if it's to be, it is up to me. All right. So, but always remember, do not be prideful. Always take feedback, and you will be able to get them. Over the weekend, if you have the time, please go back, sit back, and relook into your dreams. There's no dreams that are too big. All right. The only biggest problem is we human beings forget to dream. Remember, your biggest person that's going to sabotage you is your brains. All right. So it's about being able to then know that it's capable. Dream it, it's okay, but you'll never know when your dream is going to come to pass. All right. So, hey, Danish. All right. So, all right. So that's all for me this week. Looking forward to talking to you all again on Monday. All right, guys. Happy weekend. Bye.
Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
Marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.